get the recorded lecture on my channel that is already shared in your group. Now, see, till the last lecture, we will have seen that we have the heterogeneous society. Heterogeneous means the society, Indian society is not uniform. We have the various type of the religion, we have the various type of the caste and all. But the main diversity or the major difference among the people is the language. Here if you will see the Indian people, there are many other language. Now see, student, many time while this lecture part I have told you that India do not have the official language. Today I will reveal the truth why India don't have such official language. Today we will be discussing in detail about on this aspect also. Now if you will see the Indian people, so we know that we are the multilingual people. Then we talk about our constitution. So constitution also has given the place to the language. We have 22 language, major official languages. However, approximate 1652 languages are there, and 350 languages are considered as the major language. Now, with reference to the language, India officially follow three language policy. Now, note down the term India follows three language policy. Just a minute. Three language policy means officially we will be using three language. One, sorry. The one language will be considered as the major language, will be considered as the Hindi, followed by English, followed by the regional language. So this three language policy we have. Broadly, language spoken in India belongs to the four family. This is important, and one MCQ type of assignment is added in this video lecture, and you all are supposed to solve it. Now see student, I found that many of you are not solving the assignment. It is compulsory for all the students to solve the assignment, so that whatever you have learned from the lecture, that will retain for a longer time. Unless you will not take the assignment, you will not be able to test your learning outcomes. First family is the Indian or Indo-Aryan family language. It is one of the most important language. See, as we are saying that we have 1650 languages, but all these languages have derived from the main languages. And on the basis of that, there are four major categories of the language. Out of that, the first category is the Indo-Aryan family language, most important family of the language. It comprises of all the principal language which we are speaking in India. So majorly northern, western and western India, such as Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Urdu, Gujarati, Punjabi, Sindhi, Kashmiri, Oriya, Konkani, Sanskrit, Pahari, Rajasthani, Bihari, Assamese, and so on. All languages have been originated, or you can say derived, from this Indo-Aryan family of the language. Approximate 72% of the Indian population, whatever language they are speaking in, it is derived from this Indo-Aryan family language. It is one of the most important family of the language. Second important family of the language is the Dravidian family languages. It is mostly spoken into the southern India. It includes Kannada, Malayalama, then your Tamil, Telugu, Tulu, etc. Whatever, there are many more languages are there. So approximate 25% of the Indian population, they are using this type of the language, which is derived from the Dravidian family language. Then Sino-Tibetan family language. So it covers the North Bihar, North Bengal, and North Assam. Important language of this group includes the Sikkimese, Ladakhi, then Sherpa, Bodo, Naga, Manipuri, Tipra, that is the Tripuri language, and so on. These languages are considered to be the older than Indo-Aryan language, but the people, those who all are following these languages, are not that much. Then the last family language is the Austric family language. It belongs to the Austro-Asiatic subfamily, which represent by the language of Munda or the Kol group in the Central Eastern and the Northeastern India. These languages are of the Mon Khmer group. Mon Khmer is like Khasi and the Nicobarese type language, you can say. The most important language of the Austric group is the Santhali, which is spoken over 5 million Santhals and largest spoken among the Adivasi language. Then Mundari, which is spoken by the million of the Mundas. Another important language is the this. So two major language you should remember: Santhali and the Mundas. These are the two language. So see, these were the. Just a minute, someone wants to join in. So these are the major languages. Now we see that so many languages are there, and I told you in India every few kilometer the language, especially into the rural area, every few kilometer you will find that the language changes. There are so many versions of the language like Kokni, then your Marwadi and other language. So many languages are there. So all these languages you will find that there is a bit similarity. See, the group of Kokni languages, you will find it is bit little bit mixed up with the Marathi language. Even if you will see the Rajasthani language and the Marwadi language, you will find that it is bit similar with the Gujarati type of the languages. So for that particular reason, if you will observe the Gujarati, you will find that yes, the origin is same. Hindi, Marathi. So all that the languages have derived from this major family. That's why the characteristic, or you can say you can find a bit similarity into the languages. Now major languages in India, if you will see, so there are Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, then Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Maithili, Sanskrit, then Santhali, Sindhu, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu. These are the 22 important languages, or you can say the major languages, which is recognized into the constitution. Majority of the population in India, they speak Hindi. You all can see the ratio of the Hindi here. Hindi is the one of the most important major language, approximate 41% of the people. Then it is followed by the second important language, Bengali. Approximate 8.1% people speak in the Bengali, and in Telugu, next important major language, 7.1. Then Marathi, 7% of the people. It is 7.1 and it is 8.1. So there are other languages also like Tamil 5.91, Urdu 5.01, Gujarati 4.48, Kannada 3.69, Malayalama is 3.21, Oriya is 3.21. So many, then many other languages are also there, which constitute approximate 3%. So this is all about the Indian languages and how the languages have been derived. But interestingly, the language speaking means the people, those who speak similar language, they group together, and the Indian states are divided, or you can say formed on the basis of the language. So in India states, mostly if you will find that all the states are made, or you can say divided on the basis of the language. Even after the independence, some stated states which are created, all the states are created on the basis of the language. For instance, if you will see the Punjab, it is divided into the Punjab means the old Punjab. It was divided into the Punjab and Haryana 1966. So Punjab and Haryana, this division is done because of the language. Then there was only one state, Bombay. That state was divided in the year 1960, and two states are made, Maharashtra and Gujarati. Before independence, Odisha was the first state to form on the basis of the language in the year 1936. See, before independence, note down certain points. After independence, Andhra Pradesh was the first state which is formed on the basis of the linguistic, that is 1953. Official language of the India. Yes, this is the major truth which we are going to understand today. Initially, the official language was of India was Hindi. Initially, and then thereafter, when the people started learning the English and found that the majority of the people can speak English very well, and it can be used for the purpose of the documentation, so English was the associated language. Now, official language bill was introduced into the Lok Sabha in the year 1963, and after that, it was accepted that the Hindi will be considered as the official language and English will be used. Now, see here, the term may be was added that English may be used as the associated language, but in 1965, Hindi was made as the principal official language of the India. This year is very important. Student, note it down. 1965, Hindi was made as the principal official language of the India. Now, when the non-Hindi speaking people, when they observe that Hindi is the official language, especially in the southern region, there was anti-Hindi riots. And these rights were the root that we do not have any official language in India to avoid riots and to maintain the highest democracy into the country and to maintain peace and harmony. It was declared that the India will not have any official language. Student, meet your mic, please. Now, anti-Hindi agitation was very much strong into the Tamil Nadu. It was almost separated the Tamil Nadu from the rest of the country. They agitated so much that we will not accept it. So in the 1968, shouldn't note down the another important year in the history of this language building, or you can say the official language building of the India. 1968, see, 65, remember, it was made principal official language. Hindi was made the principal official language, but in the year 1968, Parliament passed the official Amendment Act. Amendment, see, the amendment means changes into the constitution or the law. It's called the amendment. The Urdu term for this is tarmim. Okay, so another parliament has passed the another official amendment act in the year 1968. So immediately in 3 years, the thing was changed. Now, see, when we saw that started from the 1963, in the year 1963, Lok Sabha has passed the Bill of the Language. 65, we accepted the principal official language is Hindi. In the then thereafter rights and the other story was continued. In the 1960 year, Parliament has passed the official Amendment Act. This act gave the statutory guarantee to non-Hindi speaking states that English would not be replaced by Hindi for any official purpose until and unless states are ready to switch over. So adoption of this bill led to the anti-English riot in the northern part. Now again they were fighting that anti-English people means the north side people, they were not very well versed with the English language. So again they passed the bill, there was a rights. So in the repulsion, again anti-Hindi right into the southern state was started. So after that, it was decided that there will not be any such official language. Then there was a bill that official language of the state, as far as state is concerned, Indian constitution allowed the state to means all the respective state legislatures, they can recognize some language for intrastate official transaction. Although if I will say there is no official language, then how all the official work will work without the language? So for that particular reason, the state language has been introduced. So intra-state official transaction will be done into the state languages. So all the right of the substantial section of the state population have whatever language they are speaking majorly, that will be recognized for the official purpose within the state. Now if I am saying that Marathi is the official language, so it is in the Maharashtra only. I cannot pass the document to the Kerala government into the Marathi. Understood? So always the English will be the associated language to avoid such type of language related disputes. So for that particular reason, Punjabi will be considered as the, just a minute, let me take the pointer. Now, when you will go Punjab, so the official state language will be considered as the Punjabi. Then in Gujarat, Gujarati, Kannada, Tamil, Odia, Bengali, Hindi. Depends. In Maharashtra, Marathi. So it depends on the state. So for that particular reason, the official language of the state was considered as the main. But again, I'm telling that English will be considered as the associated language. Now there are various variation on the basis of the region. Okay, if you will see the India is divided into the 29 states and the 7 territories. So all this state differ in the term of the quality of the people, culture and the resources. Now major one difference we all have already discussed, that that difference is what it is, the language difference. So all the regional variation, or you can say the differences among the state, there are sub region of each state, like you can say this district. Some regions are developed, other have remained backward. Even with 7 decades of the independence, most backward region are found into the northeast. And if you will go western and southern regions, they have shown improvement into the economic as well as the social development since independence. That's why you will observe that these northeast people mostly they are migrating towards the southern region, or you can say the central region. So this is basically actually what happened in India before the independence. What rurals they have done, they have just you can say make the people very poor. They have collected all the debts and they themselves become very rich. For that particular reason, you will find that such type of inequality into the Indian society. So there are various regional differences. Like first, most important difference is the literacy. For the purpose of census, a person who can both read and write with understanding in any language is treated as a literate. Okay. Now it is not like that the person who is graduate, follower or something. So one person who can read and write and understand any type of the language will be considered as literate. In India, state differ in term of literacy, like some state, Kerala, Mizoram, Tripura, Goa, they have the highest literacy rate. But if you will go again to the north side, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, you will find that the literacy rate is very, very much low in such state. Okay, if you will see the number of university, highest number of universities found into UP, but there also the rate of literacy is very much low. So for instance, Kerala is the highest literacy, approximate 94% of rate, maybe much more higher now. 94% into the Kerala, 94% people are literate. Bihar has the lowest literacy, 64%. Now this data I am giving as per the census 2011. If you will observe literacy among the gender, you will find that the female are uh, less literate as compared to the male. Especially even if you will go into the backward state in southern state, literacy rate amongst the male and female is approximate same, and that 6% which are illiterate, you will find these are majority of the old people. The young generation, now maybe this census may reveal the much more higher percentage of the literacy in the southern state. Now, birth rate and death rate. In the highly populated and backward state of North India like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and UP, you will find that the birth rate is very much more than the literate southern state, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Also, you will find that the death rate is higher in the case of the illiterate population. Can anyone tell me why? Suppose if the people are not literate, so there will be less doctors, there will be less researchers, there will be less good quality, there will be more poverty. So definitely it is going to raise the death rate, and they will not have any education about the family planning and all. So that's why there will be more and more birth rate. So definitely this birth rate and death rate, it is related to the literacy as well as the poverty. Now, next type of discrimination in the Indian society you will observe is the urbanization. There is imbalance in term of urbanization. Even if you will go into the urban areas, also you will find, you see the Bandra West and Bandra East, you will find that there is imbalance. Infrastructure and the level of development is different. I'm just giving you one small example, but if you will go to the rural area, you will find there is much more imbalance. In some region, urban population has increased over the years. Certain backward region, you will find there is no growth of urban population. Some states, especially small state like Goa, Mizoram, so you will find there is a higher concentration of the population into the urban area. Like if you will see Goa, so whatever areas are developed, you will find that are highly populated, and the rural area, it is having hardly few people staying. If you will go to the backward state of Madhya Pradesh and Bihar, there is very low concentration of the urban population. That side, that you will find that the people like to stay into the rural area more. Now, poverty. I told you about the poverty, that it is directly related to the literacy, birth rate, and the death rate. Now, if you will find in case of India, 37% of the population lives in BPL, that is below poverty line. Now, this data is given by the Suresh Tendulkar committee in the year 2009, that approximate 37% of the population lives below poverty line, but maybe the rate much more higher due to the pandemic situation and due to increasing unemployment. According to the Planning Commission, poverty in the country has declined 21.9% in the year 2011-12. As per the World Bank report 2014, 11.8% population in India lives into the below poverty line. There is a widespread poverty in some states. Highest poverty in the Orissa, followed by Bihar, followed by Madhya Pradesh. Lowest poverty state is Goa, Jammu Kashmir, and Punjab. Now, when we see the infrastructural development, you will find again there is the regional imbalance. Just now I gave you the example. You see the infrastructure development into the east side of Mumbai or the west side. चाहे आप you go to the Bandra or you go to some other place, there is a regional imbalance into the infrastructure development. Low infrastructure development is like transport, communication, banking in most of the states, especially in northern and the eastern state. Approximate 50% of the villages in India, they have such type of low type of infrastructure, most of them in the backward state. like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and UP, they do not have the proper roads. They do not have proper transport facility also, and they are depend on the various rural type of transportation means. Now, when we talk about the level of the unemployment, where the more unemployment will be there, where there is more illiterate people. So overall unemployment situation is very very worst in the case of India. In all state of the India, approximate 10% people, especially 10% literate people, are unemployed. In poor state like Orissa, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and UP, unemployment rates are lower, but the laborers are exploited at very low wages. See, unemployment is not there, but the labor, they are taken the double work. Many places, even in Mumbai also, you will find that in the private sectors they are giving double triple workload to the people, whatever sector they are, not only the labor. In all the sector you will find that such type of exploitation is there. They are exploiting the people. What they are doing, they are giving two three individuals work to one person, and they are exploiting their caliber. It has happened in all sector, huh? Not only the labor sector. Next is the industrialization. Again, there is regional imbalance as far as industry are concerned, like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. They have very good progress into the industrialization, but many states, especially the northern state, they northern, maybe northeastern state, these are just lacking the industrialization very much weak. Also in the southern states like Kerala and Andhra Pradesh, industrialization is weak. So for now, see, if there is industry, so industry will give work to so many people. So for that particular reason, the industrialization is very much important. It not only lead to the means good production, it also leads to the good labor, means you will get good employment chances. So always the government, the good government considered as the one who is supporting to the industrialization. Then income inequalities, of course, if level of employment and industrialization is not equal, so definitely there will be income inequalities. So there are, you can say, the people which are very much populated, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan, they will, there will be more and more poor people will be there. Now, what is the reason for such inequality? The main, one of the most important reason is unemployment among the people, low wages for the laborers, especially in unorganized sector like non-government sector. Now, see, if you will see the wages in the government side, you will find the salary to the government people in is given in lakhs for doing some task, and the same unorganized or private sector for doing same or make, you may say, the double work than the government people, they are given just hardly 10 to 20,000. So for that particular, but the people, they don't have any other option because they are not able to get government job for any reason. So they agree to do such type of work, and this is cause the income inequality. Lack of financial inclusion, poor people in the backward state, they are depend on the money lender for loan requirement. Money lender, they are exploiting the poor people by charging the highest interest, and at the end what happens, if they are not able to pay such type of high interest, what they are doing, they are just making them labor on their own land. They are just making the property rights on their own land, and they are becoming the owner, or they are taking their small land, they are becoming the owner of their lands, and they are just exploiting the poor labor. Many suicide cases happen because of such type of the inequality. This is the major cause into the poor sector, especially the farmer, the one who is giving food to the whole country. they are facing all such challenges the most. You will find they are fighting for getting fertilizers. They are getting fight and lots of torture for getting seed. So these poor people, they are highly exploited in the Indian country. Now, gender ratio, when we talk about gender ratio favors the male, we had already discussed it earlier. There is imbalance in the gender ratio across the state. Kerala is the only state where the female outnumbers the male. If you will talk about the number of female to male ratio, you will find only and only Kerala it is highest, that is 1084 female to the 1000 males, but in Haryana it is the lowest, 877 females to the 1000 male, because we know we had already discussed about this particular issue into the last lecture. We have discussed that the society feel ashamed of having the female child. So for in the earlier time, they simply used to do the female feticide. That means they used to kill when they used to reveal the gender that the baby born will be the female. So they used to do the abortion. But any chance if they would not be able to do the abortion, what they used to do, they used to keep the child uncared, so that the mortality rate in infants in the case of the female were more as compared to the male. They were just left uncared. They were not provided the care, medicine or anything. So for that particular reason, because see, there were certain laws for the feticide. That means you cannot reveal the gender there. It is into the legislation in India that you cannot reveal the gender of the child. And if any case any doctor will do that, so that particular time, the doctor and the one who is doing that unethical work will be charged the fine of 10,000 rupees plus imprisonment. So for that particular reason, they cannot find or they cannot reveal the gender of the baby. But what they do after the delivery, they keep the female uncared, and for that particular reason, they die into the infant rage. So this is a very hurting situation in the India. Still, it is there in many states in the backward areas. Haryana is the worst state as far as gender ratio is concerned. Southern states are better in terms of female to male ratio, whereas the northern state show a deteriorating situation. Life expectancy, of course, regional differences, so many differences. So definitely it is going to affect the life expectancy also. Biologically, female are expected to live longer than male, but in certain states, life expectancy of the female is less than the male. Now it is not like that. It is very common and in a very joking manner said that the female are sucking the blood of the male, means in a very joke way they are troubling the male and they are living more. Biologically, the female, because of their physiological condition, they can live more than the male. They are much more stronger. That's why they can bear the labor pain and all and so much tension. But in some states, you will find that their life expectancy is very much less as compared to the male, because they are not getting the proper care. They are even many places you will find that they are biased. If the son he will say that I want this, that will be given to the son immediately, but not to the daughter. Especially states like Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, and UP, they have the very low life expectancy for the female as compared to the male. But in southern state, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, life expectancy of the female is higher than the male. So this is all about the regional variation into the India. Next lecture, we will be talking about the rural characteristic. For this note, for now, we'll stop, but I will remind you all that you all are supposed to solve the given assignment.
Ma'am, which assignment?
Assignment will be given into the video description box. I will share it into the group.
Thank you.